All right. Welcome to the PPP workshop. We've got so much great news to share, and I'm excited. I mean, I don't think there's a day that I'm not excited, but how do you guys feel?
Excited, bro.
Yes.
Hey, Zuli,
Yes.
how's your eyes after what I sent you?
I can see all the way over there to you too.
Awesome, awesome, awesome,
The
awesome.
place to focus, really focus.
So here's the thing. How many of you guys want to grow fast?
Definitely here.
Okay.
Me.
No.
So let me ask you this. Okay. Do you feel that you will grow fast with me every time you get on a call? Or do you feel you will grow faster by leveraging each other to keep getting each other unstuck?
What do you mean?
Basically, I won't say anything, but I'm gonna let Dana. She's here, and we had a great call today with Dana and Cynthia.
I think both. You
Both.
learn both times myself because we just got off a call with Cynthia, Kathy, and me, and Martha, and we talked about what we did with my post today and stuff, and I learned some things I didn't learn earlier from you. So I think both learn. You teach us different things, and so it helps both ways.
Here's what I will see. A lot of times you guys are with me. I'm usually, I would say, 80% of the time, I'm the one driving. Correct?
Correct.
The time that you're gonna learn the most is when you drive and then you make the mistakes. Does that make sense?
True.
Recording in progress.
Right? So
Yes.
when do we learn? Do we learn when everything is perfect, or do we learn when we make mistakes?
Make mistake.
When you make mistakes. You see, I learn when, let me tell you when I learned the most. When I think that I screwed it up to the point where I can't fix it. You feel that way, Raheem?
Yeah.
And then you gotta do, who am I gonna call for help? That's when you learn the most, guys. Okay? So I'm gonna share with you guys. How many of you guys want to see PPP 3.0?
Let's go.
All right. I'm gonna tell you the purpose of PPP 3.0. Okay? A lot of us here, some of us have made some legacy sales. Some of us are struggling making legacy sales. But since some of us are making reoccurring income in the community, is that pretty accurate? Right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Zuli is brand new here, man. She's already making recurring income. Okay? And think about this. To break even, you're really looking at 3 referrals active. That's break even. Okay? But that's every month income, which will put you close to $100 a month just on the inner circle alone, which is the premium, right? But guess what? In the coaching area, it's going to put you almost at the break even. Okay? Almost, 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 almost at the break even, guys. Almost at the break even. Okay? In the coaching, it takes about 4 to break even. What if I told you 5 would put you in profit mode for life? How good would that sound to you?
Everything helps.
Does that make sense to you guys? Right?
Is that as long as they stay active, right?
As long as you maintain at least 5 active. So guess what? If I'm a business person, do I depend on 5?
No.
No, I make sure I got at least 2 for buffer. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've never had anyone in 30 years, guys, lose 2 referrals in 1 week. Never that's never happened. Okay? Because of the value that we bring to the table. The only difference is we brought the value in different ways, depending on what platform we used. Does that make sense? But the one thing that doesn't change, core value doesn't change. Cynthia has been here for quite some time, right? Cynthia, I know you just came on, but in the number of years you've been with me, has the core value changed?
Core value has not changed.
Has
We
has
still have
has the framework changed?
framework changed in terms of what you offer because you have expanded your vision.
Correct. Correct. So you can see, I mean, Kathy is same way. Kathy has been with me as long as Cynthia's been with me. Does that make sense? And it's the same, guys. It's the same. Okay? Now, I never really worked close with Brahim, but I can tell you this much until now, with Legacy, right? But we've known each other, I would say, 2 years prior to actually working close together. And I can tell you this, Brahim, can you tell him? Has my language changed in the time that you've known me?
No.
The language has been the same. You see?
Same as yesterday.
Same language. You see? Because it's something that I'm not just sharing with you, it is something that I am living. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So if I'm living that life, I'm living that structure, I'm living that framework, there's no reason to change because it works. The only thing we do is something called innovation. We innovate to adapt what happens around us. Anybody know who's the number one company that does that, even though you might hate them?
Okay.
Come again?
I don't know. 7K?
Apple.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Apple is the only company, and I mean the only company that is giving Samsung the hardest time.
Right.
And it keeps Samsung on top of their game. See, when you have no
Definitely.
competition, you don't grow because you get complacent. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
The biggest mother of all failures is being complacent. One thing I learned in
Comfortable.
business is you can be proud, right? You can be happy, but never be satisfied, which is basically complacent. The minute you
Right.
become satisfied, your business goes south. And it's a matter of time. See, you in business, you are growing or you're dying. There is no maintaining or surviving. Your numbers doesn't flatline. They either increase or decrease. It's like a polygraph test. Does that make sense, guys? So what I'm going to share with you, is a compilation of working with certain key leaders and getting their feedback. You see, when someone tells me something, like let's say Brahim, for instance, he comes and tells me and say, Kim, my eyes are spinning. I take that seriously. Don't I, Ibrahim?
Yep. Yep. Do.
Oh, I'm not the only one.
And then when it comes from multiple directions, I sit here like this. What am I gonna do to please these people? You understand?
Right.
And guess who's my best friend?
Chat.
My wife first and then chat.
You're right. Keep it straight.
I got some cheerleading going on in the background over here. You agree with that, babe? So I tell you, I'm excited. Can you guys see my screen?
I see
Yeah.
you.
You can't see my screen?
Yeah, we can see it.
You see it?
Yep.
Who is not seeing it?
There's so many screens, I have no idea which one I'm supposed to look at.
The one that has his mouse bouncing around.
Right here. You see my mouse?
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so this is Restream. You guys are looking at Restream, okay?
Mm,
Because I am streaming live among 5 platforms, okay?
okay.
Technology is what builds my other channels, okay? So now I'm gonna share with you my screen, okay? Can you see school?
Yes.
All
Yeah.
right, let me save this, okay? So how many of you here like what you see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go ahead and move this to the top. Let me move this to the
I know
top.
Kathy likes it.
All right.
No eyeballs. No bulging eyeballs.
Oh, come on! Don't make me regret it. Yeah, don't make me regret it. Okay. All right.
I apologize.
Okay. I'm gonna put this like this so that I can see all of you. Okay. All right. It's just me today. Okay. um. So let me give you a psychology. Okay. So number one, you're gonna go to start here. Okay. I'm gonna collapse everything. There's a couple things that's gonna move. Okay. Because we're gonna have our freebie offer. Okay. So your first module is basically our story, our community story, right? Now, in our community, we have 2 types of people. We have those that are struggling making sales on legacy, and then we have those that are making sales in legacy, correct?
Mhm.
What if you could imagine that even if you're struggling making sales, now you can make sales even though you're still learning your story? How would that sound?
Great. Sounds good. Great.
Okay. Anybody know how that is possible?
Just make content.
Okay. Number one, you have to understand the destination. Making content is a given, right? But you got to understand the destination, right? So, number one, you got to decide, where am I driving my audience, correct? Because once you decide that, everything you do has to drive people there, correct?
Right.
There's only 2 places you can drive them to, okay? Either you can drive them to the freedom machine or you can drive them to the community, correct?
Right.
Okay. Now, let's say you're comfortable with the freedom machine and you don't quite understand the psychology or the benefit of driving people to a community. That's perfectly fine. But let me ask you a simple question. Which one do you think will help you make a sale easier?
Community,
That's right. And why is that? Why is that?
affiliate marketing.
There's more more streams of income.
And more value. More value.
Mhm.
Okay? So I still get value with the Freedom Machine. Why? Because I get 10 streams of income if you're on the bundle, or 4 streams of income if you're on a 2.0, right? At the end of the day, that's more stream of income than a job provide. Last time I checked. Okay?
Mm.
Secondly, I don't have somebody yelling at me. I don't have somebody looking over my shoulder. Right? I have the freedom, which can be good and can be bad. Because if you're not disciplined as a business owner, then that can be bad. But
Amen.
if you're self-disciplined and self-motivated, then that can be good. Does that make sense? So, with the community, you have more value. That's number 1. Number 2, if I'm going to swallow 900 or 1400 with limited information and very limited social proof. Does that make sense? In other words, the only person I can really follow and see transform is the person that I'm following, correct?
Right.
And nothing else. But I might see wins from a community here, wins from a community here, and then eventually I'm going to see the person that I follow who's going to start winning. Is that right?
Mm.
Yep.
That's the traditional way. Why do you think the number one reason why most people drive people to the freedom machine rather than a community?
Because they don't know of alternatives.
They
They don't
don't
know the community.
they don't feel safe. Because if they refer someone to a community, they don't know that they're going to guarantee to make a sale and they're going to get credit for it.
Mhm.
Right or wrong?
Right.
So therefore, in their mind, the only alternative choice they have is I better refer to my freedom machine. Correct?
Mhm.
But then you got ups and downs. We're starting to attract a lot of the big leaders in the bigger community simply because we have more flexibility and more choices for better analytics and better results. Does that make sense?
Yes.
How many of you guys believe Daryl did a phenomenal job?
Yes.
Yep.
I'm going to tell you, I can already see that every one of you content is going to change in the next 30 days. I know my content has changed already. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yep.
So when you have a community, the psychology is this. For me to opt in into someone's website, the first thing I have to know is what am I going to get for free? Correct? Have you ever opted in into an offer that doesn't offer a freebie? Most people will keep scrolling. Is that pretty accurate, Brahim?
Yeah.
Unless
Most
that
people, most people will.
uh,
Depends on what your personality is.
and unless that offer is just totally irrefusable, right?
Right.
But in most cases, it's not the case. Okay? Now, unless you're Verizon and you're giving away 4 iPhones on one account, that's their promotion right now.
Yes.
And if that's what they have to do to get the market share from all the other cell phone carriers, guess what? They're going to do it. Does that make sense?
Yep.
But we're not in that kind of game. Okay? Now, number one, they want to know that they're in a safe community. And what do we give them for free, guys? Is the community ebook. And I promise you this, that community ebook is going to continue to evolve as we go. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Number two, what are they going to get from here? Okay. They're going to get the ins and outs on how to learn how to run a successful digital marketing business by understanding exactly what they're going to go through. How many of y'all wish you knew that when you started digital marketing? I had to learn through the process. Nobody was ever upfront with me. I'll tell you what really pushed me over was I had to find a way to replace my income. How many of y'all feel that way? Right? But then I realized that the income was not supposed to be my focus. And if I continue focusing on the income, guess what? I'm not going to be in a good position. Does that make sense? So I had to shift my mindset and I had to learn the skill. And when I started to focus on the skill, okay, everything changed. Just continue to sharpen your saw. Continue to sharpen that saw until that saw would slice and dice your steak in fine dining. Does that make sense, guys? How many of you guys remember the concept of fine dining that we taught last week? Okay. Now, let me show you before the fine dining, right? Is knowing that you're in the right restaurant with the right menu. Does that make sense? Because you go fine dining and you go to a menu that you don't like, what's going to happen? You're going to walk out. You guys can unmute, Dana. You can unmute. But you're going to walk out of the restaurant, right? But you're going to find a discreet way to walk out, right? Does that make sense? But if you can relate and connect to that menu, and then you really fall in love with that menu just because it sounds good and it looks good and the environment is right. Now you're gonna start digging. That's when you stop the scroll. Does that make sense? So guess what? When they come in here, right? And they come in here, first thing we're gonna give them is the community video. Why PPP was built. How many of you guys seen the video? I recommend you go watch it. We're not talking about the sizzle video. Sizzle video is different. This is a complete video, 5 minutes, that goes in depth. Y'all give me, those who watch it, give me a feedback of what you feel about the video for PPP. Madeline, Dana, Cynthia, all of you have already watched the video. Rudy, you guys have watched the video. Well,
You play it? I haven't watched.
we
It
will.
was very helpful. It showed exactly what we do and how we do it.
Okay. All right. Very good. So let me kind of share with you guys exactly what your audience is going to be watching. Okay. And thank goodness we're on a Zoom platform, right? So they're going to click here and here they go.
Both.
So far, based on what I've been looking on this video, it has kept the audience watching that video about 4 minutes and 17 seconds on average. Okay? Even though it has at least 5 mistakes that I refuse to fix. Anybody know why I refuse to fix it?
Because we're not
Everything
perfect.
has to be perfect.
Doesn't have to be perfect.
That's the reason. But look, Brahim will tell you, when you can keep someone in a video for 4 minutes and 17 seconds, you don't need to change anything. Most people are struggling keeping people in a video for 10 seconds. Is that pretty accurate, Brahim?
Yes, yeah, that's true.
So, and the reason why we have transitions, guys, if your eyes are not moving, you keep moving. But when your eyes are busy, you stay in the video to understand the message. Does that make sense, guys?
Mm-mm.
That's the one thing that I've learned, not only from Wendy, but from Melvin and all them folks. I got another guy named Jay, who's an 8-figure earner in YouTube, right? It's the same message they teach. So when you have multiple source teaching you that message, what does that mean? That means it
I do have
works.
a comment. I do have a comment though.
Yeah.
Why I say that as well. Because I work with a different market.
Mm-hmm.
My market has our individuals with disabilities. Some had tremendous difficulties. Like the lot of movement can create spasticity. It can create um, uh, what do you call it? Some of those attacks. And so I'm looking at different ways how to make it truly accessible so that my market can benefit. So with a lot of transitions, a lot of movement, a lot of stimulation, the brain for certain individuals, my market that I'm calling for would not be able to function.
It's
So
okay.
I'm just looking at different ways how I can make it
Yes.
accessible.
No, I understand that. I understand that. But this is where you come in. This is where you come in. Because
Well, and that's why I'm looking at it to what I can do to change my ways.
when you come to a community, you come to learn the skill. Does that make sense? Because you're in control. Once you learn the skill, you can tailor it any way you want it. Does that make sense? Right? But at the end of the day, you also have to understand one person's market is very small to the entire community's market. And sometimes, right? So who is the person that should step up, right, to alter, right, to learn and alter is ourself. Like, I give you an example.
I get what you're saying, but I'm also following WAG, the Americans with Disabilities Act, and the telecommunications regulations. So I'm looking at all of that because that's where I'm certified as well.
Okay.
And so if I see certain things that is a violation, regardless of what these so-called experts have to say, I do have to speak up.
No problem. No problem. No problem. But this is, I give you the perfect example for me, for instance, right? Am I happy 100% with the bigger community?
No.
No. So what do I do? Do I come and tell the bigger community how to do business?
No.
No. Here's what I learned a long time ago from someone who was 100.
And just so you know, I'm not making anyone wrong. I'm just
No. But I just want to share also people understand. Okay. I come from mentorship from a gentleman. Okay. That was literally, guys, literally 100 million away from hitting $1 billion a year in income. And it took him 47 years to get there. Okay? I'm not sure at this point if he's still trying to get there, but I can tell you this much. He's going to get there regardless because of the way his organization is growing. He has fast and large duplication. Does that make sense, guys? This guy doesn't talk about generating 6-figure earners. 6-figure earners is happening daily in his organization. He talks about generating 7-figure earners. And that's also happening weekly. Very fast. Right now is the fastest growing financial organization in the financial industry, period, next to what A.L. Williams has achieved. If those of you who know who A.L. Williams is. Does that make sense? This gentleman was the #1 student of Art Williams. You guys know it's not easy to be #1. You're going to have a lot of people hate you. Does that make sense? Right?
Yep.
But the one thing he taught me is this. When you don't like a certain environment, right? You create the environment. And that's exactly what I have done here at PPP. Does that make sense, guys? because I can't control the bigger community, but I can leverage what I want to leverage, and I don't have to remember what I don't want to remember. Does that make sense, guys? Right?
Yep.
You got to learn to pick it apart like a buffet, right? Do you eat everything at the buffet? If you do,
Nope.
you look in the mirror, it will reflect. Nobody eats, the fact is, nobody eat everything at the buffet. That's why they call it a buffet. Does that make sense, guys? Right? It's pretty awesome. You know, when I've learned that concept, I've learned the true meaning of having freedom to do business. Does that make sense, guys? Right?
Yep.
You see? So when I came here, I wanted to make sure that we provide a culture. And first and foremost, the first thing that I want someone to know when they come to PPP is they have a safe community. Definition: I don't care what you sell, I don't care what you buy. We're going to make sure it goes to the person, credit to the person who brought you to this community. School is the best place to make sure of that if you set it up right. Does that make sense, guys? Okay. I'm going to give you an example. Dana here signed up on the wrong link, and it automatically gave credit to her dad. That's why her dad, you saw that, right, Dana? Her dad got reoccurring income automatically because school was able to track that.
Yes.
This is real time, guys. This is real time. We're not talking about, does Dana look like a real person to you? Same thing happened to Cynthia. Does Cynthia looks like a real person to you?
Bam.
And guess what, guys? That is who we are. Does that make sense, guys? That's the first thing I want somebody to feel when they come here. The second thing I want them to feel is that they're not doing business alone. They're doing business for themselves, but not by themselves. Those are the two main message that should have come from that video. Does that make sense, guys? You guys understand a little bit, right? So
Yes.
the second thing we want them to understand is how to maximize PPP, how to get the most out of it, right? How are you going to get the most out of your $20 a year? Are we going to hold somebody hostage for $20?
Nope.
No need. It's not even worth it. Y'all feel me? I'll give you your
Yes.
$20. Just don't come back. Obviously, you didn't get it. Does that make sense? Because
Makes sense.
all it takes, guys, and I tell you, I take this and I know this from experience, okay? And you tell me if I'm incorrect, Cynthia. Same thing with you, Kathy. It only takes one bad apple to ruin the whole batch.
True. Get rid of the
Sounds
bad
right.
And guess what? I've learned to get rid of that bad apple quick, boy. Even Brahim could tell you he's gone through that.
Well, I got stories, I tell you.
So this video is gonna be redone. This video is gonna be redone. Okay. But here's what I want you to focus on. Okay. This is the new community map. Okay. All you gotta do is follow the number. Okay. Person comes in the community, the first thing they're gonna do, you know how to take a picture. When you come here to this classroom module, you can download it right on the computer. Okay? All you gotta do is click the arrow, and it'll go straight to your download folder. Okay? Watch this, guys. This is the message automatically goes out to that new person. Okay? It's going to take him to start here, which is directly going to take him right here when they click here. On the classroom modules, that's the very first step of the classroom modules. Does that make sense? Brahim, you want to let them know how far I come from on this thumbnail?
Woo! There's a lot going on with
And I'm going to
There
tell
was
you, I take no credit. I looked at someone's community and I fell in love with the way it was so clear, right? And that's no other community than Mike's community. So what I did, I took a screenshot and I said, you know what? I'm going to make it look the same or better. Does that make sense?
yeah.
The biggest difference I did in our community is I wanted the backgrounds to be congruent, but I wanted to be variation, right? In Mike's community, he was all over the place. That's the only thing that I disagree. But the clarity was there. Does that make sense? Right?
Mhm.
So when you come here, I want you to know that it's no longer free. It is a standard community. But I still want you to know that the message is not changed. It's the same. You come and walk, earn while you learn. How are you going to do that? 3 speeds, 3 faces equal freedom. Black Friday comes, right? I'm going to give you a hint. Okay. It's going to be 5 for 5 in 90, free for life. That's going to be your formula. That's the slogan. Okay. That's a hint. But you'll get the full offer on Friday. I'm gonna be like 50 Cent. I'm gonna try and get it done by Friday. So when they come here, guys, okay, how many strikes in baseball?
3.
Great.
All right.
So is this going from left to right, or do you just not have your screen? Because
I couldn't
you
do it.
don't.
I couldn't rearrange it because of the size of the images. Okay. So that's why I say you follow the number. Okay. Just follow
Okay, so
1,
it's going from
two,
right to left.
3, right? And then 4, 5, 6. Does that make sense?
Okay,
It's almost like a circle, right? But not quite a
right.
circle, right? So when you're on number 3, we're going to break down number 3. Strike 1, okay? You understand what the community is about. You know it's a safe community. Why this community was built. Strike 2, you're going to understand why we went digital marketing. So this is where majority of the people are going to buy the legacy bundle or the legacy builder 2.0. Directly. We go straight to it. No go around the chase. Why? By the time they're exposed to legacy here, right? Actually, right here. Why I chose digital freedom, right? So by the time they get exposed here, you see the yellow line, right?
Mhm.
Our story and why you're here, which is basically digital marketing, right? They've already gotten to know that their voice matters. They already know there's a safe community, right? And they look, some of them are going to skip a couple things. But when they skip, they realize, oh, shoot, my first 7 days. Oh, my freebie, so I can understand what digital marketing is. You know, I wish somebody had explained to me what digital marketing was. I had to figure it out on my own. Does that make sense, guys? And then when I figured it out, you want to play, you got to pay. Why? Otherwise, it's going to cost you time. I didn't have time to waste. You guys understand? My urgency was very high. Not necessarily for me, but for the people I knew I was going to bring along in the journey. Does that make sense? Cynthia, Brahim, and Kathy here will tell you, whenever we do something, it's never about me. Never. It's about what I can do for you. That's just the way I was raised in this industry, and that's the way I will always be until the day I die. Does that make sense, guys? So when you come
Yes.
down here, guys, and they start learning that, oh, wow, we do have a big ticket item. That means we can make money. And then through the 8 video series that I'm about to put together, you guys are going to see, I'm going to put my best into these 8 videos to make sure it tells the story where they can connect, they can feel it, okay? And then when they come and opt in, they're going to see this. Were you referred by PPP or were you referred by someone in the community? Does that make sense? They cannot purchase directly. Fair enough?
Yes.
Because it's immediately going to notify the CRM that someone has opted in. The first thing that RG and myself is going to do is verify who that person was referred by. Does that make sense? Guess what? You might receive a phone call like Cynthia. Say, by the way, you need to contact Brahim. Brahim, show interest, go connect with him, and here's the information, and get him started. And that's exactly what she did with her first customer. Does that make sense, guys? You tell me, when a brand new person feels that way when they come, where are they going to go? No matter how much
No.
they hate you, they ain't going to go nowhere. Because, Brahim, have you heard of anything like this since you've been in digital marketing? You're muted, bro.
Dogs were barking. I didn't want y'all to hear it. No, but I haven't heard it. That was one thing that kind of amazed me when I first saw your community. I was like, well, that's really cool. It's really cool. Cause I was kind of disconnected. I was out and talked to Daryl and just figured I was doing my own thing. But being in the community, and seeing how, certain people were having success just by inviting people here was awesome. So no, I haven't seen that, man.
Awesome. And like,
Jeff's in the back room,
he's in the back.
backstage.
Now, of all people, he should be in the Zoom room.
Who, Jeff?
Yeah. He's the one who started the Zoom. Hold on. Let me ride him for a minute. Let me ride him for a minute. He's not there.
He says he's in the backstage on my text.
He's not there. You guys are my witness.
Backstage.
Yep, he's definitely not there. Okay? So, he's definitely not there. But anyways, let's go ahead and back. That was an interruption. Okay? So, anyways, okay? It's very simple, guys. The only link that is in what you call it? The only link that is there should be the Zoom link. Does that make sense? So, anyhow, just tell them to get on Zoom. Okay? So, like Martha first. Martha, you've been in Legacy for a long time, right?
A year last month.
Have you seen anything like this from what you've seen around digital marketing?
No.
Unheard of, right? It's unheard of. Okay? Madeline, unmute
Yes.
yourself. You've been around digital marketing for a bit, right?
Yes.
Have you seen anything like this?
No. No.
Okay.
And I've been to a couple of communities. None of them looked like this.
So let me tell you something, guys. We're doing our best to make sure you have the best. Not to compete with anyone, but for you to have a peace of mind when you do business. Does that make sense, guys? Does that make sense? Now, I never told you I was perfect. I probably will be the first to tell you I am far from perfect. Okay? And my witness, besides God, is Cynthia, Kathy, and Brahim.
I'll be second.
So when they come here, guys, they're going to understand the journey. I want you to read the titles before the videos. Okay? First one, right? They come here. It's going to be the week that everything changed. So, what am I going to be telling in terms of storytelling on this video? Is when we lost everything in 1 week. Does that make sense, guys? Then the next video is we discovered XYZ, right? Why did I buy? Do you realize that when you talk to Daryl, that's exactly the same framework he's telling you to do on your story?
Yes.
The only thing he
Exactly.
did, if you understand, how many of you guys have actually gone through the 7 day to profit? Like to the T, right? To the T, right? And honestly, that's what Daryl did with all of us, is the 7 day layout of what you need to be saying in your videos, but about your story. Does that make sense, guys? That's the shift. Because all of us here right now, we've gone through enough to understand what our story is. Some of us may kind of have more than one story, and you had to figure out which one you want to use. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And it's okay, because some of you here have more than one car. And sometimes you try to decide which car you want to use today. Right? That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay? Now, the next video was, what did I learn from losing it all? Obviously, what am I focusing on? Pain point. Does that make sense, guys? Pain point, right? Then, why Master Resale Rice changed the game? You guys see how I'm telling the story? Right?
Yes.
I am telling this story in a way that it will relate and connect to each and every one of you, marinated with my story. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So that means that this series of video is not specifically done for me only. It is done for the community, so that
Blueprint.
all of us here will benefit and get results from it. And trust me, I'm going to monitor this bad boy so bad with analytics to make sure we know it's working. Does that make sense, guys? Because if you didn't get the message from Michelle last Monday, right? Even companies like Verizon, okay, they spend $17 million, actually $1 billion, on data to build their company, which means they spend $17 billion on analytics, so they know what works and they know what doesn't work. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
17 billion is more than what any of us would want to shake a stick at. Does that make sense? Shit, I don't even know what they would do in South Africa with $17 billion. So,
Let
so
me check.
look, guys, okay? Even companies like Apple, right? They spend billions and billions of dollars for marketing. How long ago did Steve Jobs pass away? More than 10 years. But why are they spending billions of dollars in marketing, on analytics, on stupid numbers? Because the numbers don't lie. You guys feel me? Right?
Mhm.
And then video number 4 was the learning curve. So what are we sharing? We're sharing the struggles. You guys understand? Right?
Yes.
Why? Struggles is what connects. Struggles is what creates emotion, right? And then guess what? When they come down here, no calls, no pass, just progress. Does that make sense? Because when a cold customers come in, the only time you're going to contact them is when they buy. Correct?
Right.
And guess what? That's the least you can do when someone spent $1,400, right? That's the least you can do. Get them started right. And guess what? When they come down here, right? Boom. Then the next one is, what did the 12 months teach me? What happened during those 12 months that I've been here in digital marketing? You know, we launched our community on Cinco de Mayo of last year. This year. That means that Cinco de Mayo in 2026 will be 1 year that this community has been around. Does that make sense? I have a lot of expectation in this community by the time we come to Cinco de Mayo. And I already know that some of you are even exceeding that expectation already. Does that make sense? Which is a good sign. Okay? And then video number 7 is, who's coming? Here's what we're going to do the next 12 months. Are you in or are you out? And then video number 8 is, don't get left behind. That's a decision video. That means they're going to buy from you. Does that make sense? It couldn't have been a better time for you to drive people to a community right now. And let me tell you why. We're not going to have a workshop tomorrow. Right now, I'm going to slow down on the workshops because there's 3 projects I have to get out non-negotiable. Number 1 is making sure all of you who bought the bundle, we're going to make sure you're all set up and running, email and website included, okay? In the next 2 weeks. Not by this Friday, but by next Friday. You'll be all set up, okay? Number 2, we want to make sure that the Black Friday offer is ready by this Friday. Okay? Which means that this community, at least the first 3 modules, have to be ready by this Friday. Does that make sense, guys?
Right.
So the one workshop that I'm going to keep for right now for the next 2 weeks before Thanksgiving is going to be Friday and the time blocking, of course. Does that make sense? Is everybody in agreement to that?
And Tuesday also? Tuesday, Thursday, Friday?
There's only 2. Listen carefully, okay? Time blocking, which is Thursday, Friday, which will be our regular workshop for the next 2 weeks, and that's it.
Just want to make sure you weren't skipping something.
Okay? So we're clear, right? Everybody clear? Right?
Yes.
There will be a post going out in the community about this. Okay? Now, so you can see that now that they have bought the legacy, do you think there might be a good reason for them to learn how to transform their brand?
Mhm.
Yes.
I think that's the perfect timing. So with that, we're going to give them the 2-hour blueprint that they can customize. And we're going to give that to them for free. Do you realize there's no one else doing that? You know how many blueprints right now out there are going? And they all look the same? 99% of DGC. Guess what? You will convert quicker because it is branded. Does that make sense? I want to show you guys. I didn't do this, but I'm going to show you guys this. Okay? Miss Madeline did a phenomenal job. Hang on a second. Miss Madeline did a phenomenal job. And I'd love to get your feedback on this, okay? So we're going to do view, and we're going to do one single page, right? How many of you guys believe Madeline did an amazing job?
Looks good. Yes.
So this is her brand, right? So from now on, if you
It's
need
very
something,
well done.
don't call me, call Madeline, okay? No.
I'm not there yet, Kim.
But look at this, guys. Look how amazing job she did. Right? Let me ask you this.
Yes.
For someone less than 4 months ago, there was absolutely no confidence in herself. Felt totally lost, almost ready to throw the towel in. Could you tell that when you see this picture?
Nope.
No, absolutely not.
Nope.
Right? Watch this, guys. Her story, right? And the whole entire thing is branded. Okay? You see, the whole entire thing is branded. And not only that, she went and figured out how to put a link on that PDF as well.
Good job.
And making sure that link goes to her website, not somebody else's. Hey, I'm not going to bash, guys. I made 12 sales before I changed my blueprint. I don't know how many sales I had lost in the process.
Dude, I made like 30 before I changed my blueprint.
But think about how many sales we may have lost, right, Brahim, in the process. Okay?
Because I told you.
But let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. The hardest part of someone's business is their first 90 days of a brand new person. Anybody know why is the first 90 days? Most people run out of warm market in 90 days. Is that pretty accurate, Brahim?
Yep.
And I don't care how big your warm market. When you hear all these people that are making 30 grand, 40 grand the first 90 days, that's because they had a warm market. Make sense?
Yeah, that's the truth. It's the truth.
So, guys, you know me. I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. I will tell you straight. Does that make sense? Right? I will tell you straight. But guess what? When they come here, they're gonna get the 30 days. They're gonna same concept. They're gonna get the first 7 days free. Day number 8, either premium, inner circle. Does that make sense? That's when you get the full transformation. You see? Because if you understand the psychology of the first 7 days of the 30 days, is to let them know that something is wrong. Something could be better. Does that make sense? And the one thing they're going to realize in the 7 days, I can do it the hard way or I can do it the simple way. Make sense? And I have a choice. I can do it myself or I can get done for you services. Fair enough?
Right.
That's it. Very simple. First start here module. Okay? The second module, which I'm working on, right, as well, the second module is going to be the freebie. Okay? Hold on. Let me refresh this. That's not what it's supposed to look like. Let me show you the actual thumbnail. Hold on. I uploaded it right here. Okay? So this is the actual module. So this is going to be the freebies for being here. Okay? The freebies for being here. Right? You see what I'm saying, guys? So we're going to give them the digital marketer's journey, right? We're going to give them the customized blueprint, right? We're going to give them the ebook. All of those are freebies. Does that make sense, guys? We're going to continuously add value for them to be here. And trust me, this is a lot more than $20 worth of freebies. Does that make sense? But we can only give so much in the free community because we want to give them even more value when they come to the premium community. Does that make sense? And then the third step, right, is going to be the technology part. What tools are we using to make this all work? How many of you guys are loving the tools right now?
Loving the tools.
Right? You see what I'm saying? Hey, Rudy, are you still there, Rudy?
Yes, I'm here, brother.
Hey, man, tell me, can you be straightforward with me, man?
Yes.
If right now Brahim come up your door to CapCut away from you, to Descript away from you, and to Canva away from you, what would you do to him?
He would pray for me.
I'd be mad. I'd be mad.
Now, let me ask you this.
I would ask him if he has medical aid first.
Now,
I ain't messing with Rudy.
Hey, Rudy, one more question. One more question. Okay. 12 months ago, okay, where were you at with this technology? How frustrated were you in this industry?
Very. I didn't know nothing.
All right.
And I don't think I could have done it without PPP.
When you say very, can you be more specific? I mean, like these guys, they want to know the pain, bro. They want to know what kind of you were you pulling your hair to the point where you had to change your hair, or what were you doing, bro?
He had a
I didn't have no understanding. Like I didn't know what to do, how to do it. I didn't know how to do nothing.
Has that changed?
Now
Has that changed?
I'm moving and grooving a little bit.
Man, Rudy putting out some content, man.
How many of you here like Rudy's content? He's come a long way, has he not?
I did.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna get better now because now I'm on Sora and I think I can make something happen. Thanks to Brahim.
Listen, I made a decision and I'm claiming it and I'm declaring it to you guys. Okay. I'm gonna learn the UHR. And I'm gonna be dead serious about that UHR. Because I made a decision.
That's in Melvin's community, right?
Okay. Look, chat GPT it, my brother. Okay. UHR. Okay. Now watch this, guys. I am determined. I'm going to build a channel, a YouTube channel for Ampy, right? And it's going to be a cooking channel because she loves cooking. But we're going to do it with the UHR. Imagine what that's going to come out like. Then we're going to combine it with Sora. So we're going to use UHR and Sora to build her channel. Okay? And you watch what that channel does in 6 months. You watch.
Ultra hyper.
What is UHR?
ChatGPT.
Ultra hyper realistic.
Ultra high risk or for psychosis?
Are you in Melvin's community, Ibrahim?
Ultra hyper.
Okay. Do me a favor. Connect with Rudy. You need to be in Melvin's community. It's very cheap right now, but it's getting ready to double the price.
And there's some phenomenal lessons in there.
Okay.
Get with Rudy. I promise you, you won't regret it for being in that community. Okay? But anyways, guys, it's been good. I hope you saw value today, right? We are 11 minutes over and I got to be on another Zoom. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
All right. Y'all take care.
All right, I'll send you the link right now.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay.
All right, brother.
All right. I'll let y'all.